Hello and welcome to another SH Figuarts review. Today we're taking a look at Count Dooku, and yes, this is a Time Machine Web exclusive, hence no window on the box. And honestly, this figure really is a bit of a missed opportunity, and you'll see why now. So here we are now. Christopher Lee in real life used to be quite a lot taller than everyone else, so it makes sense here that he's taller than Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker. But of course, Mace Windu, played by Sam Jackson, there is also quite a tall person. And I guess depending on how they're standing, I think they're roughly the same height, but I think just with the hair alone, Christopher Lee is slightly taller than Samuel L. Jackson. Right off the bat, regarding the color of the suit, a lot of people are complaining online already. This is definitely the wrong color. Under certain shots in Attack of the Clones, he does have a reddish tint or reddish brownish look to his suit, but that's completely down to the coloring and lighting of the shot. He was in Geonosis. Geonosis' sun is like red, and everything else is like sandstone and just muddy. That's why his suit looks like that. If you see him in Revenge of the Sith, the Clone Wars, and behind the scenes photos, his suit is meant to be a black, perhaps with a slight shine to it, but it's definitely not this brown color. This brown color matches his pants color, so that's correct, but this does not. This is completely the wrong color, and and because of its lighter color, some of these joints also show up a lot clearer than how they would have done if it was black. So if you're picking this figure up, or if you've already ordered it, be prepared to take this figure apart, respray all of this into black. Now this piece here is soft plastic, so you're gonna need a different kind of paint. So from what I know, with Tamiya paint at least, TS paint is for hard plastic like these. So spray that black, give it a nice semi-gloss shine to it. So gloss and then a thin layer of flat or matte over it, just very thin. And whereas this piece, since it's a soft rubbery plastic, you're gonna want to spray that with something under the PS line. That's for soft rubbery plastic, or else the paint would just start to flake, and that would be really ugly. Well, the rest of it can be fine, but yeah, the torso needs to be resprayed. It's unavoidable. It just looks way too off. If you don't do that, I mean, this is still Count Dooku, but just not movie accurate Count Dooku. So if you're okay with that, that's fine. And another reason they might have chosen this color is certain action figures from the Hasbro line in the past have used this color, so maybe they based it off that. Hooray! Ugh. So, bad stuff aside, the face does look like Christopher Lee. Under certain lighting, it looks a little bit off, but under my lighting, which I think I've tuned it just right between the camera and the actual lights shining, this looks pretty good. It's got the right skin tone. The hair color is a little bit on the lighter side, but he does have some sort of wash on it that makes the highlights come out. And the actual face print and detailing does look like Christopher Lee. Perhaps the head could have done with a little bit of a stretch, make it slightly longer, slightly taller, but yeah, this could be Christopher Lee on a week where he's had a bit too many donuts. It's absolutely fine. He doesn't look like fat or anything. I mean, his head's just slightly chubbier than... So the head's pretty good. Moving down to this cape area, this chain here is pretty good. That's going to be metal, just slight metal chain, and these two bits actually glued down to the torso, so that's permanently attached. What's also permanently attached is the way it's been folded. These are sewn down on the back. That's very annoying, and I'm thinking that they don't even have the actual cloak details underneath there. If you remember in the Fumi, there are actually some sort of stripes that go down on each side, so that's annoying. You could, I guess, cut this and re-sew it yourself, or just cut some lines. I want to be able to put this back over Christopher Lee, and without, with that there, I can't do that. I get it, just for display purposes, this looks fine, but I also want, Count Dooku to do some cool stuff, not like, well, I guess the Dracula thing where he's just like, I'm Count Dooku, ho, 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 ho. Well, you can still sort of do it. But, sometimes I want maybe one of his sides to become down, and he's sort of like Batman, where he's just standing there and then just flicks the cape over his shoulder, just one side, that would look so awesome. But I can't do that now unless I cut that. So I'll take the photo shoot of this as it is, and then I'll cut it afterwards and maybe put an update on my Facebook, or maybe at the end of the video, and see how that goes. I'm slightly worried that if I cut this, will this also destroy the rest of the cape? Like if they sewn it together with something else? I don't know. They've sewn it all the way down here, so this is a long cut. Another thing about this cape is, just like the 4 Infinity War figure, there's no wires inside here, and you can actually open this up like a little puppet thing. And so you can do that. I might as well look at the where it's been sewn together. So that's a thing. And speaking of 4, I did praise the Mezco 112 figure for its fabric crepe that drops down very easily, whereas this, if you don't pull down on it, it still wants to go up a little bit just because of how light it is. And I was thinking that the perfect material for these capes, which what the Mezco 4 felt like, were those cloths that you use for wiping your eyeglasses. So glasses cleaning cloths. This does not, this floats. It's got the right shine to it, but those glasses cleaning cloths also have this shine. Perhaps they should use those moving forward. This one doesn't drop down as much as I want it to be. So yeah. So one of the things where adding wires to this would help to make the shape much better. So now I'm just pulling down on it. It looks alright. Since I let go, it still looks very floaty. And the way this cape goes like this, it's spray way too open and just looks kind of bad. So gotta fix that. Moving down to the torso, of course we have the wrong colors. And this belt too. This before I paint this, I guess in my photos I will desaturate this entire torso just to make it look better. In some of the photos, just so you can see it. As of right now, this kind of sucks. Lightsaber just pegs in, much like previous lightsabers. And well, the plastic's more than that red plastic, so this hole does show up quite easily. That's not good, damn it, Bandai. It wouldn't be a problem if this thing was more than black now, would it? Moving down to the legs, this is the correct color. This is meant to be a lighter brown color. And the boots are just boots. So there's really not much going on with this figure, just because of how the suit was designed and how he looks. And honestly, without the head there, this torso here does remind me of Dr. Evil from Austin Powers. In terms of accessories, apart from the fist already attached to him, he also has a pair of lightsaber holding hands, a pair of spray open hands, and a pair of special effects lightning hands. From a certain point of view, in this case the top, these look okay, but because these hands are molded in that transparent blue plastic, from the underside, it looks really weird, like he's sort of chopped up his fingers. Yeah. But I guess if you were to apply like Photoshop effects to these and make these lightning bits glow, that wouldn't really be noticeable. He also has a face looking slightly to his right. Okay, I guess. And finally, he has his lit up lightsaber. Both this one and the one on his belt look great. They're painted very nicely. The red details there, the matte black on the shiny silver, it's good. One thing I don't care much for on this one is that this piece here, it's actually a removable piece, so like that. But it's really unnecessary. The good thing about this is that, you know, the peg is shaped in a certain way where you can't get it wrong. But the downside to this is that this silver piece here is also molded as part of this transparent red plastic. And between this piece and the blade, there's no gap there that's been filled up, and with the spraying process, there's no silver on the underside here, which looks like part of the reflection of the red glow, I guess, but OCD me wants to get a tiny bit of silver paint and just fill in that gap right there. And this peg here is kind of thin, so will that snap in the future? I don't know, it seems quite sturdy. This lightsaber red also has a bit of a bump on the end. Kind of looks like a condom before you put it on. Oops. So that's a bit weird. Let me see. Condom, bump, bent lightsaber. Ooh. Oh god. Yep, Christopher Lee does look quite pissed here with those jokes. So, double neck joint. He looked quite far down actually. Quite depressing there. And he looked quite far up. That'll be great for fighting Yoda when that comes out. Can't wait. Sideways and sideways. Double socket joint in there somewhere, because this piece hides the cut, and there is slight rotation here. I'm just gonna go up. Ooh, that's bad. Full rotation here. Single elbow joint. I think there's a rotation here. Yep. So all Jedi or robe characters seem to have this. I watched the Floosh video on this and he seems to have a really loose joint there, but mine's very tight and secure. Hands on a peg and swivel. But yeah, the way his sleeves does hinder articulation quite a lot. Torso goes forward, torso goes back. Wow, those cracking sounds. I guess he is old. Sideways, sideways. Hey, actually, he's doing that Shazam thing. Legs split apart because this is soft plastic, so gets out of the way if it needs to. Full rotation here. Legs, can they come down a little bit? Yeah, they can. So they can be even taller. Leg goes up, leg goes back. Knee joint, semi-rotating joint here. Foot joint, toe joint goes up, tippy toes up, foot goes up, sideways and sideways. And there's nothing underneath his boots except for the tramp stamp. While this might be the best Count Dooku figure out there, or even a Christopher Lee action figure out there at this scale, for the price that it's going for, this figure leaves a lot to be desired for. There's really not much going on with this figure, which is why I think they included lightning hands, because there's nothing in here. The cape annoys me the way it's been done, but I get it, it's for posing purposes. But I'm definitely going to go and cut the stitches there so it can come back down. So I can do more stuff with it and maybe add some wires to it for better posing later. I just don't know why they don't put wires in their capes anymore. And the suit coloring is pretty much incorrect. The cuttings of the torso does make it look quite ugly and awkward, which again, with the cape coming down, it would help hide some of those joints and make it look a bit better. And all of those downsides are very unfortunate because the rest of the figure is quite nice. He looks the part, the face printing is pretty awesome, and in terms of accessories, he does come with everything he needs, really. Standing next to the other Star Wars figures, he can still look quite menacing. He looks over them because of how tall he is. Under certain lighting, I guess, he can still look quite good if you don't want to go in and repaint him. It really is a shame because Count Dooku is one of the best characters from the prequel trilogy. He's cool, he's badass, he's menacing, and he's powerful. So while I'm still glad I picked up this figure because episode 2 is sort of my guilty pleasure from the prequel series, so I do like a lot of the characters from it. I can fully acknowledge that this figure is not for everyone. He is quite expensive, and for that price, for the price that they originally sold for, they really should have delivered a much better figure than what we've got right here. If you see this figure discounted or slightly cheaper than its original price, consider picking it up. Otherwise, yeah, probably want to skip this. Please Bandai, don't mess up on the Yoda figure because that looks really good right now in all of the preview photos. Don't mess it up. And there you go, like on the box art, I guess they toned down the color or lighting a little bit. It looks pretty good, but the figure itself is just yeah, it doesn't look quite right. With the wrong color torso and the cape not being able to cover up those ugly shoulder joints, this figure is not that good. For the price it goes for, I really can't recommend this to anyone. And that's really unfortunate because the head sculpt's really good and the overall figure seems pretty nice for what it is. It's just like almost there, just at the door, but it just won't go in. It just tripped and fell, and yeah, that's really sad. I still look forward to the Yoda figure that I pre-ordered. I hope that turns out as good as the photos make it out to be. Now I can't remember if Black Series has a Count Dooku, or if they do, he's definitely not going to look as good as this. Again, that's very unfortunate. And even if Black Series does release a Count Dooku, I can't be like, well, just get this figure just for the head. That'd be really stupid. So look, if you really like Count Dooku, you like Christopher Lee's performance, and you don't mind the price, maybe, but honestly, it's just sad that this figure just doesn't live up to what it could have been. Subscribe, suggest, and comment below. Of course, take care and have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. May the Force be with you.